There is nothing for a few moments before the three dots signaling the other person is typing pops up in the other side of the conversation. It then disappears. And then there's an incoming call. Incoming call from Omiai, face with big pleading eyes. Heart with stars. Atsumu declines it. Private messages from Omiai, face with big pleading eyes. Heart with stars. This isn't funny. It's not meant to be. Atsumu. What's going on? I'm breaking up with you. Is this a prank? You got me good then. It's not a prank, Sakusa. That hurts more than it should have. The anger from earlier is dissipating, but Atsumu wills himself not to back down. We're done. Atsumu, stop joking around. This isn't funny. Why are you being lick of this? Does it matter why? I'm just an acquaintance, aren't I? THST. I can explain that. I promise that's what I was gonna tell you about. I don't care. I do. We've been together for almost a year and you still treat me like shit. I'm always the one initiating everything and I'm tired, Omi. The nickname is a habit he has to break. I tried my best and it wasn't enough to be introduced as your boyfriend. Are you that embarrassed of me? No. The fuck, Atsumu, not at all. I'm sorry about that, but I had my reasons. Just hear me out please, you'll understand. I don't want to IDC goodbye. You have blocked this contact. Atsumu begins his walks back home when it starts getting dark outside. His jacket is zipped all the way up, hands fisted inside the pockets, but he's still shivering. Not dressed enough for the December cold setting in. He feels Osamu's eyes on him as he drops beside his twin on the couch. There's 2 pizza boxes on the coffee table. One opened and missing 3 slices, one of which Osamu holds. Atsumu takes one and settles more comfortably on the couch, pressing his cold toes to Osamu's warm body. He only grunts, but doesn't say anything, and Atsumu smiles into his slice. An hour later and down to last 5 slices, Atsumu speaks up. He said he had his reasons. Osamu doesn't comment, but from the slowed chewing Atsumu knows he's heard him, so he continues. For saying I was a yeah. He's developed a severe dislike for the word. Anyway, I told him to go fuck himself. You did not. I did not, but it was implied. Osamu snorts. So, you. Yeah, I did. The TV screen appears blurry. I broke up with Omi. Atsumu shoves the remaining of the slice in his mouth. Osamu doesn't say anything, eyes fixated on the screen. He doesn't even glance at the sniffles from beside him. Few minutes later, Osamu stands up and announces he's going to bed. He's already gone when Atsumu notices the extra 2 slices, which were definitely not his share. He can always count on Osamu to be there for him. Atsumu jerks awake. He doesn't remember falling asleep, or turning the TV off, or taking off his jacket or the blanket covering his body. But it is so. Maybe Osamu is just feeling too lovely, huh? His eyelids feel weird. Did he fall asleep crying? When he checks, his phone tells him it's around 1 in the morning. Atsumu can hear voices towards the main door, but they're muffled enough so he doesn't understand exactly what is going on. He should ignore it, but he finds himself standing up. The black full-sleeved shirt isn't enough to stop his shivering, so he grabs the blanket, wrapping it around his shoulders as he makes his way to the door. The floorboards creak under his feet. The front door is ajar and for a moment Atsumu contemplates going back to grab a weapon of some sorts because what if it's a burglar? But then he hears a familiar voice. Yeah, fucking brave showing up after everything thing you did, Samu. Atsumu whispers under his breath, moving closer quietly. He pushes the door a bit, peeking, but ends up using too much force and the door opens entirely just as he hears an even more familiar voice. I need to see him. Atsumu freezes up. The sound of the door opening makes Osamu turn his head. Atsumu's eyes dart to the tall figure behind him and they widen. Atsumu. His voice is calm. Go back inside. Atsumu meets Sakusa's eyes but he looks away quickly. He's not wearing a mask, and his hair is a mess. Osamu stands firmly between them. Samu. What? Achu. You shut the fuck up. Osamu cuts him off. He's facing Sakusa so Atsumu can't see his expression properly but Osamu's voice paints a clear picture. Didn't think you'd be the crazy type to show up at their exes in the middle of the night but here we are. You have two options. Leave or leave with a bloody nose pick. At that Sakusa stands up straight, looking determined. I'm not leaving till I talk to Tsumu. Atsumu finally notices the fresh bruise blossoming on Sakusa's right cheek. He's hurt. He made you cry. Osamu replies, as if that explains everything. He doesn't sound sorry in the least, glaring at the tall spiker. Samu. I'm not leaving. Osamu declares before Atsumu can even ask. Atsumu steps out, closer, and his fingers grab the back of Osamu's tee, tugging lightly. Please. His voice is thick. He knows he was the one who broke up with Sakusa but now that he's here, tall and beautiful and desperate, all Atsumu wants is to fall in his arms. But he won't. Osamu only looks at him for a moment, jaw clenched, before he turns around and moves past Atsumu to enter the house. 10 minutes. Osamu says, putting on his shoes. I'm going for a jog for 10 minutes if he's still here by the time I'm back. It's on site. 30 minutes. Atsumu proposes weakly. Number 20. 15. Osamu bumps shoulders with Sakusa, hard. When he passes him, Atsumu sees Sakusa's jaw clench. But he doesn't say anything, probably realizes he's in no place to complain. Atsumu pulls the blanket around him tighter, eyes on the ground, suddenly nervous. When was the last time he saw Sakusa? A month ago? They were together a month ago. But now they're not. But Sakusa was here a month ago and he's here now and… Atsumu looks up when Sakusa takes a step forward. Breathe. He hadn't realized he was breathing shakily. Atsumu's eyes go over his face, taking in the details as if to commit it all to his memory. Sakusa isn't wearing a mask. His cheek is red. His curls are unruly. He looks tired. Atsumu shuts his eyes, leaning away. Don't. We're not. Oh. I understand. He feels Sakusa step back and feels colder for some reason. He feels so far. He doesn't say anything after that. Eyes stuck on his shoes. He's well aware he should tell the other to leave, but Atsumu has never been strong enough to let go. So instead, he says, "You should put some ice on that." Sakusa looks up, something like hope in his eyes. "I suppose so." Atsumu nods, turning around and walking back in. Sakusa follows. Just sit wherever. He vaguely gestures at the dinner table, draping the blanket on the back of the nearest chair as he enters the kitchen to get the ice. Is it clean enough? Is his misophobia bad? He can't help thinking. Sakusa is still standing hesitantly in the living room when Atsumu returns, handing him the ice. Their fingers brush the briefest and Sakusa almost drops it, lips pulling in a frown. Thanks. Atsumu nods, pulling out a chair. Sakusa does the same on the opposite, hissing as he presses the cold pack to his cheek. Atsumu's eyes remain fixated on him, fingers itching to push back the few curls falling in his face. He chews on his bottom lip, growing restless as the silence stretches between them. Then, why are you here? Sakusa stills, sighing quietly. To fix things. Tokyo is far. I'm aware. It's 1 a.m. Caught the first train I could. Why bother? To fix things. Why? Because I fucked up. I fucked up and I hurt you, and even if I can't make things right, I have to at least try. Atsumu's teeth sink into his bottom teeth. You did hurt me. It's okay, I'm okay. I know I have been for a while now, and I came out to my parents. He suddenly says. Atsumu stills. He remembers the fear in Omi's eyes the one time he'd asked him if his parents knew. Did it? Yeah. He swallows. I see. How did it go? It was different than I had expected. Atsumu's heart seizes up at the thought of it ending bad, but Sakusa puts an end to those thoughts immediately. Good, different. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yes. There's a moment of hesitation before he speaks up again. I don't do well around people. Atsumu stares at him. Duh. Omi doesn't look up, only lowers the pack from his cheek and places it on the table. You know this. Everyone does. And my sister. I knew even if I'd said friends, she'd have coaxed it out of me because she knows me. And I don't mind that. I knew she would be the most accepting, and she was. But she's bad at keeping her mouth shut, and my parents. This is the first time he's seen Omi like this, tripping over words. His eyes are fixed on a spot on the table and he twists his fingers anxiously. They are old-fashioned, strong beliefs. No room for disappointments. The whole package, and I'm scared of them. I always have been. Omi voice drops. I didn't want to fuck this up. It was all about me. He then swallows. But my sister, she announced that she got engaged to this one foreign guy, and mom, father, they weren't mad. They had all these top proposals lined up for her, but they weren't mad. Mom said she hoped he'll be able to join them for dinner soon, and I want that. With you. I have for a long while now. Because you're the best thing that has happened to me. Not even my own family is as patient with my phobia as you are, and God, when I look at you my thoughts go blank. I just want to hold you forever, but my fucked up mind doesn't let me, and I know you don't deserve that. You deserve everything good this world has to offer and more, but I just take and take without even thinking of stepping out of my comfort for you, and I told her that you were that, so she wouldn't bring it up before I wanted to. I thought the call has disconnected before I said it, and I thought wrong. I thought wrong about everything. I'm so fucking stupid. I'd never be embarrassed of you. Achoo. God no. I just didn't think it through. And I hurt you because I was thinking of myself. I'm so sorry, Atsumu. You're stupid and I'm a fucking idiot. Atsumu's got his head in his hands, elbows on the table. What a dumbus pair. He feels Omi's hands hesitantly grab his forearm, pulling his hands away from where they're roughly rubbing his face. The spiker is beside him, risen up on his knees. I am a dummy. Ha. Atsumu nods, agreeing. His eyes are fixated on a spot on Omi's jacket. I'm so sorry, Atsumu. Omi apologizes, voice small. You should be. Samu gave me his food. Do you get how bad it has to be for him to do that? I'm sorry. And I even cussed at Kita-san. I'm sorry. I cried to sleep. Do you hate me? At that, Atsumu's eyes snap to meet Omi's. He means it as a genuine question. The setter can tell. Omi looks away when the setter doesn't reply right away, and Atsumu's hands move before he can think, grabbing the sides of Omi's face. He winces, and Atsumu remembers his cheek. Their eyes meet and Atsumu smiles small. Number. Honestly, I wish I did because it'd be easier, but I don't. I can't. I was mad, hurt, upset but hate. Number. Do you love me, Omi? I do. A moment too. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I don't really need anything else. A bit pathetic, I know, but it is what it is. Can I kiss you? The question surprises Atsumu. Because of Omi's phobia, they don't really even touch much, but now he's. Atsumu swallows, nodding and licking his lips subconsciously. If you wanna. Omi nods, his eyes on Atsumu's lips, and he looks almost nervous, so Atsumu repeats. Only, if you wanna. I do. I always have. The words are a breath against his lips, and Atsumu's heart is beating fast. Oh fuck, he's gonna key. Wait. At the very last moment, Atsumu turns his head to the side and Omi's lips touch his cheek. The spiker pulls back, blinking confused and just a tiny bit hurt, but Atsumu's cheeks are pink as he mutters. It's 1 a.m. I haven't brushed. Oh right, okay. Atsumu feels awkward, but he's sure it's just him, overthinking the situation again. A moment stretches into 2, and Atsumu speaks. We could cuddle instead, if you want. Omi looks at him. Yeah. I'd like that. And that's how they end up on the couch. At first on the opposite ends, but then Atsumu's shivering cause of the cold, and Omi's holding out his arm. A clear invitation. I'm trying to be good for you, he says when Atsumu denies. He can hear the erratic beating of the spiker's heart as he rests his head on his chest, eyes on the TV while Omi's arms wrap around him, and fuck if it doesn't make him the happiest. He's a bit stiff at first, clearly unfamiliar and just a tiny bit uncomfortable, but he relaxes after some time. They are both stupid in their own ways, but they are trying to be good for each other, and that's what matters. The TV is still playing by the time they drift off to sleep, and the last thing Atsumu remembers before he's out completely is fingers running through his hair and a whisper of words too low for him to catch. The next morning finds Atsumu in the kitchen, eyes shifting from the eggs cooking on the pan to the phone on speaker on the counter right beside. Not picking up? Omi asks, coming up beside him. Atsumu glances at him, freshly showered with a towel around his neck and wearing one of his t-shirts that is stretched over his broad shoulders. Atsumu feels a blush creep onto his cheeks, remembering well, let's just say Atsumu brushed his teeth as soon as he woke up. Because hygiene. Yes. The calls goes unanswered again and Atsumu lets out a frustrated noise. This was the 4th time. Give it a rest. It's only 7 a.m. He sleeps until really late when he stays over at Sunarin's, so he'll be back late and it's his turn to do the laundry, damn it. Atsumu says, typing a text into his phone. You have plans for today? No, not really. Atsumu flips the eggs, not wanting to burn them. Going back to send a few more words. Omi beside him clears his throat, standing up straight. Come with me to Tokyo then. Atsumu pauses, slowly looks up, phone on the counter. The tips of Omi's ears are pink and he rubs the back of his neck, looking away. I forgot to say this earlier, but my mom and my sister, they invited you to dinner. They wanna see you. Atsumu stares some more. He blinks. What the fuck? He ends up burning the eggs.